95. What a game inside of this building. The playoffs in full effect. Hey, everybody, I'm Paris Lawson, sitting next to the Thunder's very own Royce Young. And Royce, I thought this crowd was electric for the first round, but I think they took it up to a whole nother level here in round two.
Yeah, I was wondering about it, just kind of with the layoff and everything. Yep. You know, there was a lot of conversation of rest versus rust. I even wondered if that would carry over to the crowd a little bit, but I think the rest did Thunder fans well because they came out geared up for this one, really set a tone early. I love one of my favorite things about playoff basketball in Oklahoma City, Paris, is how fans stand a full building 30 minutes before tip-off watching warm-ups, chanting and cheering on the team. I mean, that is just so unusual to see, and it's so cool.
Yeah, I couldn't hear myself talk even a half hour before this game even started. And for the Thunder's sake, that rest, that did a really good job for them because they came into this game locked in, ready to rock and roll. There was really no lull at any point in this game for the Thunder. They came out and set a really, really strong tone from the outset.
Yeah, especially on the defensive end, Paris. And it's kind of amazing. The Thunder have now played 5 playoff games and have not allowed 100 points yet. And again, I mean, we're talking about the modern NBA here, where offenses have just absolutely exploded. We've seen some of the highest offensive ratings we've ever seen in NBA history this season specifically. And for this young Thunder team to be able to set those tones defensively, because, you know, there's going to be moments in playoff games where, especially as opposing defenses really key on you, they scheme you, they're prepared for you. You're going to go through some offensive lulls at times, but to be able to lean in on that defensive identity to get you through those offensive lulls is such an unbelievable thing that this Thunder team is able to dig into and then finally break into their offense at some point, which is what they did late second quarter and then into the third quarter.
Yeah, this defense, and you can't take it lightly. The Thunder, they made it look easy. Lou Dort was out there working super hard. Bench putting in just as much work, but that was a really potent Dallas Mavericks team. You cannot underestimate them and the capabilities of a guy like Luka Doncic, the capabilities of a guy like Kyrie Irving, and the Thunder able to keep them pretty much quiet throughout the entire game. And then that defense, well, it sparked a lot of offense for OKC. One of the biggest things that stood out to me, Royce, I'm curious your thoughts. The pace of this game, absolutely critical and bode well in the Thunder's favor.
Yeah, Paris, it's been something you've mentioned a lot throughout this entire season, just the Thunder's ability to turn defense into offense, and that ability to, whether it's clearing the boards and getting out and running or just the disruptive nature of the team. But, you know, you mentioned it about Kyrie and Luka and what a challenge they present, really the Mavericks in general. You know, that's one of the things about the postseason is that you have these, different challenges. You go through a playoff series against the New Orleans Pelicans, who are a strong defensive team, a lot of rangy wings. They like to try to spray the ball to the perimeter, drive the paint, kick out. And then the Mavericks are going to present a completely different challenge for you that you're going to have to solve, whether it's on the defensive end or the offensive end. Obviously, Luka Doncic is one of the absolute most gifted offensive players in the NBA. And then, by the way, Kyrie Irving is just one of the most talented offensive players in the NBA. But the 1-2 combo of Lou Dort and Cason Wallace.
Scary.
I mean, how about that? I mean, to be able to switch those guys and take turns. Lou got into a little bit of foul trouble. Then, of course, you've got J-Dub, who has a little bit more size. Just the options there for the Thunder is pretty dynamic.
In addition to the personnel, though, you got to give a lot of credit to Coach Dagnall as well, because you saw the Thunder switching up defenses throughout the night. Sometimes Luka would cross half court, and then he would see 2 bodies coming right towards him in a blitz right across half court. Other times, he'd cross half court and face like a 3-2 zone a little bit. So a lot of different looks that the Thunder were throwing their way just to kind of keep Dallas a little off balance throughout the night.
Yeah, I mean, and again, that's what you can try to kind of plan for those sorts of things over the layoff that the Thunder did have. Coach Mark did talk about, you know, that's one of the balancing acts that you're trying to do is to not over-plan, but also have these little curveballs that you have available to you. But, of course, this is game 1. Game 2 will look different. Game 2 will feel different. The Mavericks and Jason Kidd will be ready for some of those schemes. Luka Doncic, obviously, will be a little bit more prepared for that. But it was just really interesting watching this one play out. And, you know, I thought one specific thing that was really cool in this one was J-Dub did not have his fastball the way that we have normally seen him. He wasn't finishing at the rim the way we typically see him. He was a little bit frustrated with himself, but as he often does, unlocked it in the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter dub, showing up big time and really getting it going. He just has a knack for it. It's really one of those uncommon elements of this team. We've seen it with SGA before as well, Paris, where these guys, they don't really let the previous minutes and the previous struggles affect them. They keep their head down, they keep focused, and they're able to break out of some slumps mid-game, and that's what J-Dub did in this one and had a huge fourth quarter.
It's a real next play mentality. That response to adversity is something that we see from game to game from the Thunder, but even in the game, like like we saw here today for J-Dub. Now, we're going to take a minute here. We're going to take a little bit of a break because we've been talking so much about this game, but we got to hear from Thunder head coach Mark Daigneault himself, who is at the podium. Let's get his thoughts on this matchup.
Yeah, it was huge tonight. I thought great physicality at the rim defensively, including on the glass. The offensive rebounds were huge, especially in the first half. Obviously, we shot it well, but we manufactured a lot in the first half with those second chances. The wings did a great job of crashing in there. So I thought we just had great energy tonight.
Speaking of the physicality, the rim, obviously Chet, did his thing, but Jay Will, big presence. You actually went double big at some point. I just wanted to get your take on the way that Jay Will was able to come in and kind of platoon there with Chet.
Yeah, he gave great minutes, and we liked that look, against this team in certain situations. So we wanted to take a look at everything tonight. We took a look at that. We went small there late. Played different lineups, just to sample it and see what that gave us against this particular opponent. So we got, good looks at a lot of things tonight.
Getting to the free throw line is nothing new, but with the recent changes that we talked about before the game, just the change in physicality and officiating, what's happening, just what'd you like from, the way he got to the line and just seeing that in general?
Yeah, I thought the officials did a good job tonight. I thought they were very consistent from end to end. Obviously, we had some touch fouls on Doncic that were all fouls. We got to be better in those situations. They had similar situations on their end of things, and so we adapted to how the game was being called. I thought they called it straight up. So, we just played it from there.
You guys, it seemed like you guys broke open the game when Isaiah came in the game in the third. Just what did you see there, and from that point on?
Yeah, I just thought our rhythm in the second half was really good. And really in the second quarter, I thought we got a good groove going after kind of a choppy start. But really intelligent attacks. We had a good blend of aggression and also taking what the defense gave us and, keeping them on their heels, keeping the ball ahead of them. They're really good when you slow down and allow them to kind of scheme and calibrate. And so I thought our pace, both up the floor and in the actions, was really good tonight.
Yeah, Mark, 29 assists tonight, playoff record for you guys. What's just like about the way that you guys move the ball, not really settle for shots, not really getting to playing one-on-one?
I thought we had a great balance of aggression. Guys were on the gas. We played fast in the actions. We were hitting the paint with the ball. But then we let the defense tell us what to do. We found open guys. We shot it exceptionally well, but I thought we generated really good shots for the most part all night, which is, all you can ask for in a game, and I thought the guys did a great job there.
You mentioned the offense 16. There were some that you guys tapped out that you guys didn't get. Which is like about the effort that you guys gave.
Great activity. Especially early, we shot it really well as the game went on, but we didn't shoot it that great early, and so I thought those extra possessions, we manufactured some offense there. And got some good stuff. So great effort on both ends of the floor from the guys tonight.
Obviously, there's always going to be a lot of talk about the youth of this team. They go on that run in the third. Looks like Kyrie's maybe going to get in one of his second half grooves that he's been in.
Yep.
Where is the kind of the calm and the poise to respond to that come from?
I think it's a muscle we've built at this point. We've had to endure a lot of those situations during the course of the season. I think a lot of it comes from respect for the opponent. We know this is a heavyweight, matchup, and that this is a really good team, and that to think that you're going to go through games or a series when they don't land their punches is just unrealistic. And so they landed a couple punches there, and it's a long series. We have to be ready for a better version of them, coming out in game 2. We would expect that. And I think knowing that helps us in those moments, to just understand that, this is what they do. They're a really good team. They're here for a reason. They're really good players. We just got to stay with our stuff and stack possessions.
Was there something specific you did? Because they did get it to 1, then you run off, I think, a 12-2 run. Is there something you changed, or with a couple threes? What changed in the huddle?
It's something just offensive rhythm and just a deep breath, just understanding there's swings in the game. This particular opponent, their games have more swings than just about any team in the NBA. There's a variance to the way that they play because of how many threes they shoot and just the way they are offensively. They're potent. So we knew coming in that we were going to have a lot of ups and downs in the game and in the series, and that we're just going to have to be steady and consistent and just stay focused on executing in the next possession.
And Wiggins, comment on his play off the bench, what he did for you tonight.
Yeah, big time, from the jump. Really, really good. Both ends of the floor. Great aggression. finding his shot, but also made the right play. We did a good job of finding him. He did what he's done all year, though. We have a lot of trust in him.
Their roll men were pretty ineffective tonight. Is that a combination of Chet's length on the ball, the tagging guy on the baseline? What do you think works so well for you guys to kind of wall off that part of their action?
Yeah, there's always a shot-making variance. I think we can expect them to play better than they did tonight. The last thing we're going to do is underestimate this opponent. They won game 2 in their last series. So they're going to come in with a lot of confidence, and they're going to come in ready to go. We have to come in, ready to go as well. So it's one game. We have to learn from it. I thought last series we did a great job of improving as the series went on, and that's our challenge again. We had a great win tonight. We had a great week of practice, with a large gap in between. Guys did a hell of a job. I thought, our week of prep won us tonight, but now we got to win the next gap, and we got to go out there and get back to 0 for the next game.
Mark, it seemed like both Shea and Jalen, J-Dub, got some shots that they would like in the first half that didn't go in, but, they both had big runs there in the second half, sort of didn't get discouraged. Just what is it with them that, allows them to have that sort of spurt ability like we saw at big times in the second half?
They have a lot of confidence. We have a lot of confidence in them. Their teammates have a lot of confidence in them. And I think that's throughout the roster. I think a guy like Wiggins, when he has a game like that, no one's batting an eye at that. And so it's just a matter of just doubling down on the way we want to play on both ends of the floor and knowing that the cumulative effect of that will give us the best chance.
Two more. Go ahead, Andrew. Just your thoughts on Cason Wallace tonight and what he brought, not necessarily even like the corner threes, but just like the small intangibles that he brings.
Yeah, he's, however old he is, 19 or 20, and he's guarding Doncic and Irving every possession pretty much, and offensively playing a good style. He was aggressive. I thought in the first half he gave us a good spurt there. In the second quarter, even offensively, his decisiveness and aggression. He gives us depth off the bench.
Just Chet and his overall aggressiveness on both ends.
Yeah, same as we've seen all season. He's great at the rim, obviously. He's great out on the floor. And then offensively, I thought he had a nice blend tonight. Found his shot, found his drives. They threw different matchups at him. I thought he adapted to that in the pick-and-roll game. Played really, really well.
Coach, I guess it doesn't surprise you that Dort just battled his guts out all night long, but he did it again.
Yep. Yeah, he's just a warrior, and brings the juice every single night. Doncic is a really hard matchup and a great player that, didn't have his best pitch tonight. He's going to play better than this. But Lou, made it hard on him. I thought our team made it hard on him. And like I said, we're going to have to take some punches here in game 2 and as the series goes on. So we just got to stay level and continue to stack possessions through all the runs of the games and of the series.
Last question, Joel.
The challenge that you lost, the call, the ruling, it kind of felt awfully similar to the call. I don't know if you remember the Lakers game where they came here. It was like the beginning of the game with AD. Just with that call, do you regret maybe going for that with the history of that kind of call and just how much that maybe weighs in a playoff game?
Yeah, regret's no way to go through life, Joel. So I'll learn from it. It was third foul. I thought maybe an illegal screen. And the combination of it was really the third foul. If it wasn't his third foul, we probably would have gotten it. But I thought the value of trying to swing that around was worth it at that point. But not going to hit 1,000.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
Great stuff there from Thunder head coach Mark Daigneault following tonight's Game 1 victory over the Dallas Mavericks. A lot of good stuff to pull from this game. He mentioned the pace of this game. He mentioned the awesome defensive effort. But a lot of other things really stood out to me, Royce, and I want to get your thoughts as well, particularly the play of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander throughout this game tonight. Finished with 29 points, 9 rebounds, and 9 assists.
You know what other teams are thinking coming into these types of games, Paris? They're looking at number 2 and trying to develop their scheme entirely around how do we slow that guy down. He's a 30-point scorer. He's led the league in drives the last 4 years. He's one of the most dynamic, difficult to guard isolation players in all the NBA. And then, oh, by the way, he's unselfish, so he knows how to amplify and involve his teammates. So you put all that package together, and that's exactly what Shai did all night tonight. He got off to a little bit of a sloppy start when he was trying to kind of involve some of his teammates, but he really settled in himself and got to go and hit a bunch of big threes. Those step backs in the second half were big and kind of creating that separation on the scoreboard. And it just seemed like the Thunder had a great plan for SGA tonight. I thought that's something that was interesting that Coach Mark said there, is he felt like the week off, the week of preparation is what won this game one. They had a great week of preparation, and that's what won this game one. And now they have to turn the page, and they can't rely on that to win game two. So it's about making the improvements and adjustments from game one to game two to get it done all over again.
All about winning the gaps. You heard Coach Dagnall say it there in the press conference. That's something that he has been preaching ever since the start of this postseason, and it all comes down to just stacking days for the Thunder. They want to stack those days and keep winning those days to keep improving and getting better. Another guy I want to talk about here, Royce, Aaron Wiggins, coming in off the bench. How about those 12 points in the second quarter? He hadn't played in the entire first quarter alone.
Those were big threes he hit too, and really just kind of unlocking the offense in a lot of different ways, Paris. But we've seen that from Aaron so often, where he just is able to create offense from his intelligence, those smart cuts. He's always finding gaps in the defense. It just amazes you to think, like, how did Aaron Wiggins get open again right there? But a lot of it is just, again, his intelligence, but also just his savvy play. He's hustling. He's finding those gaps all over the floor. He's just a system player in every way, and the biggest compliment you can give him is he knows his role and he knows how to play it within the structure of the team, and his teammates know how to find him. And it's any given game. Aaron Wiggins tonight was huge in this one. Next one, he may not have such a statistical impact, but he's still going to find ways to impact the game in a positive way.
Just a great system player, and to be fair, the Thunder bench as a whole chipped in 43 points in tonight's game. A huge, huge factor for the Thunder's win over the Dallas Mavericks. All right, let's send it over to Nick Gallo, who caught up with Chet Holmgren post-game tonight.
Tell me about the way that you guys attacked on that end.
Lou Dort was on time for the game today. And we all just, came together around him and put together a team effort tonight on the defensive end.
The 50-50 balls just seemed like the hustle plays were there all night. How much were you guys energized and just feeding off each other?
We've done that all season long. It's not going to stop tonight. I feel like that's part of our identity. We're a gritty, scrappy team. We get out there and, we muck the game up, and, that's our style of play. So, we like that.
You got it going from the three-point line and then that massive trail dunk, too. Tell me about how that moment felt.
Chill, bro. It was great. Shout out Aaron Wiggins for saving basketball and finding me on that play.
Let's go, 40 points off the bench. Tell me about this guy tonight.
Killer, hit big shots. Got me an assist. I got offensive rebound, kicked out. He hit a three. He saved basketball tonight. Let's go.
All right, congrats, guys.
Oh, man, it's always fun when Nick Gallo gets to catch up with all the dogs, everybody with him there post-game. So we had the whole crew with us here right now. You might notice a familiar face if you're used to watching those Griffin stations. We've got News 9 very own Steve McGehee with us tonight. Steve, you are with the Thunder every single road trip. You were with this group basically every single game. You've seen every away arena as well. How would you describe this atmosphere inside of this building?
Very loud tonight because I was listening to I could barely hear him because it was so loud in here, and that makes a difference in the playoffs, and it certainly helped out tonight in game number one. But what impressed me the most about this Thunder team, we saw it right away. Missed shot by the Thunder. Giddey goes in there, races, gets the rebound, sends that to Lou. Lou hits the three, and that was kind of off and running with the performance they did. For those loose balls, they went out and got them, and I think that made a difference in this game tonight.
Steve, you were in there with Coach Mark in his press conference, and you've heard from him all season. He's always so thoughtful in those post-game press conferences. But as you've kind of listened to him throughout this postseason and even tonight, what are the things that stand out to you and stood out specifically tonight from Coach Mark?
He loved how the team played great on both ends of the ball, and he knows somehow, some way, Dallas may get a win in the series, maybe a couple of wins. So it's a 0-0 mentality, as we heard him say all season long. But I think he loved the effort from the team. He loved the way Chet played. Everybody who went out there tonight for the Thunder had an impact in this win tonight. And again, the defense, they have only given up, the most they've given up in the 5 games now is 95 points, and that was tonight with Dallas. And if you count the regular season, they have won 10 games in a row. That's pretty good.
Another thing we hear often from Coach Dagnall is win the gaps between games, win the gaps between series. That's something that he mentioned post-game as well. You're also at every practice with us, Steve. What are you noticing about this group that allows them to win those in-between moments?
they're so young, as we keep hearing over and over again, but they're the youngest and most mature team in the NBA. Mark has that 0-0 mentality, and that's who he's going to bark tomorrow at practice. This series is not over. It's only one game, and he knows Dallas is going to throw their best punch. And I think Oklahoma City will be ready for it. They were ready for it tonight. You knew Kyrie Irving was going to come in the second half and make a difference for the Mavs. He did, but did you get an invitation to the three-point party in the second half? Because I sure didn't, because Oklahoma City was knocking down threes left and right, and that was another reason why they won this game tonight.
You know, Steve, one of the things that stood out to me a lot in this one tonight, other than, you know, as you mentioned, the defensive element of this one, but somebody like J-Dub, who did not really play his best game, you know, was missing a lot of shots at the rim, but the way that he was able to get it going in that fourth quarter, it just seems so unusual that these young players, I know we almost like we just repeated all the time how uncommon they are, but for J-Dub to have that kind of breakout in the fourth quarter, what did you see from him that got him going?
Well, it seemed like it started with the turnover pass in the lane, trying to get it through Luka, and it was picked off. They score, I believe, and then he comes back and scores 8 straight points, and Jason Kidd's calling a timeout, trying to figure out what's going on here. But J-Dub looked like he rushed his shots a little bit in the first half. They almost went in, but then that just shows you what he's done. He's had these games before where he starts off slow, then in the fourth quarter, all of a sudden he gets 8, 10, 12 points in a row, and that is hard for Dallas to defend when they do that. And Dallas, what, about 4.5 minutes to go in the game, they put the starters on the bench. That's a credit to Mark Daignault and the staff.
Last thing for you, Steve. We talk about the balance of this Thunder group so often. We see a guy like Aaron Wiggins come off the bench, just light it up in the second quarter, finish with some awesome minutes. How critical did you feel like the Thunder's second unit was here today?
Oh, with Kaysen, Wiggins, but Wiggins, though, making those shots in the second quarter, that's when it kind of seemed like the Thunder needed a lift, and he came out there and did that, and then he did it again in the second half. But as I said before the season even started, I thought this was the best Thunder bench since the team moved to Oklahoma City, and it's starting to hold true. I mean, that bench is long. He can play up to 10, 11 guys if he wants to. I think most everyone got in tonight's game, which is great for playoff experience.
Yeah, all of these guys getting such good minutes, great experience every single time they step out there on the floor. And one guy who's watching every single time these guys step out there, it's Steve McGehee, staying locked in with the Thunder all season long and here with us here post-game as well. Thank you so much, Steve. Appreciate your time. All right, let's take a look at the Thunder's upcoming schedule for the remainder of these playoffs. We played game 1 here tonight. Game 2 going to be Thursday. That's at 8:30 p.m. here inside of Paycom Center. That game will be on ESPN, and we have an every other day cadence here for these first 4 games. Game 3 at Dallas on Saturday. That's going to be a 2:30 p.m. tip-off, a little bit of an early start time there. And then game 4 at Dallas on Monday, and that game is going to be at 8:30 as well. All right, let's send it over to the press room now. We've talked about him a lot. Let's hear from Aaron Wiggins himself.
So actually making it happen.
Just staying ready. I don't know. Not much goes into it. Just watching the game and paying attention and staying engaged with everything that's going on. In the game, on the bench during timeouts, talking to teammates about things you might see while you're on the bench. Just trying to stay ready.
Aaron, I think you were on the floor with J-Dub there in the second half when he had that little offensive explosion. But I know you guys have seen that again and again from him, and Shea had one in the third quarter, but still to see those guys do that in, increasingly important situations for you guys, just how did you sort of process just what they were able to do in those moments?
Yeah, great players. Great players show up when you need them, and those guys are big. They made tough shots, good shots, and they came through in moments where we needed them to come through. So they've been good for us all season, and we're going to continue to kind of trust them. And in the moment, it's the flow of the game, but you hear the crowd, you see us having fun on the court. So it's huge for us when those guys get going, whether it's in a small spurt or throughout the entire game. So.
Is it a different feeling when you hit a 3 in the playoffs? Like, does it just feel different? Like, obviously the crowd is a little bit more hyped up. Like, does it just feel different to you?
Feels the same physically, but obviously the crowd behind it. The whole arena just kind of erupts on every shot that goes in. So that's huge. That makes the game a little bit more fun and intense, and it has a different weight to it. But it doesn't feel too different. Just a little bit more fun, maybe.
Yeah, and then you only played this many minutes 9 times or more in the regular season. Does it feel more special, I guess, to play this many minutes in a playoff game?
I mean, whatever amount of minutes, man. Being on that court, you can't take it for granted. So just happy to be healthy and you know, go out there and take advantage of the opportunities I have. So.
In a lot of your minutes on the floor, you got switched on to Kyrie and Luka. What's sort of the mental aspect of that, where I'm guessing you sort of just have to be on high alert, even if they have the ball or not?
Yeah, those guys are good. I mean, it's a team game plan, so not just me, but, you know, a lot of our guys are going to end up finding themselves guarding them at times. Just got to understand that, you know, they're going to make tough shots. They're going to, you know, find, you know, opportunities for their, you know, offense to get good looks. And, I mean, you just got to understand that, you know, they're great players, so play to our strengths and trust our defense and, you know, our togetherness on that end. And you know, if we're locked in and playing the right way, things will go our way.
Shea had 19 in the first half. He got to the line 11 times. At a moment where it felt like everything was a little frantic, I mean, how in control did he feel, and how useful is that for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, we have guys with a lot of experience. I mean, Shea's been in the league 6, 7, almost 8 years. So, you know, guys understand, you know, the flow of the game. And obviously a lot of us, this is our, like, first playoff experience. But, you know, a lot of guys are just kind of, you know, reiterating and you know, kind of repeating the same things, like, you know, trust our game plan, stick to everything, and coach does a good job just kind of making sure that we're always, you know, under control and playing to our game plan and kind of getting to our sets on offense. And I mean, it helps us, you know, tremendously in between timeouts, on free throws, just kind of talking, communicating, making sure that, you know, we're all on the same page. So that's big for us.
Both crowds have been great throughout the playoffs. Game 1, first round versus game 1, second round. Who you got?
For the crowds?
Yeah.
They're both the same. I can't say one or the other because I don't want to piss off any fans or something. I don't know. They've been great. They've been great.
Awesome stuff from Aaron Wiggins. It's so interesting because he never knows what his role is going to be any given night. He could play awesome. You could play a ton of minutes. He could play spot minutes. And yet, no matter what, you're going to get the same Aaron Wiggins every single time. And we saw that show up in scoring tonight, but it could be defense another night. He's just going to bring it every single time he steps on the floor.
You know, and what I think of when you're talking about that, Paris, is kind of what Coach Mark said during when he was just talking about the composure element of the team and how it's a muscle that they've really built. But that's the same sort of thing. You know, that's a muscle that Aaron Wiggins and a lot of these guys, you can go down the line, too, with, you know, whether it's Cason Wallace, whether it's Kenrich Williams, a lot of these guys that are quote-unquote role players, that's a muscle that they've built, is that kind of inconsistent playing time, but that stay-ready mentality. Isaiah Joe went through a phase where he wasn't playing every single game, but he was always ready to come on the floor and make an impact. But that's just kind of the mentality a player like Aaron Wiggins has. And, you know, a lot of the impact that he made early in this was on the defensive end. He was great on the glass. He was on the spot with a lot of the roll game with Dallas. There was a number of times that he jumped passing lanes in there. And then, of course, knocking down the big shots and being in the right spot at the right time. That's just the sort of things that Aaron Wiggins does. But again, that stay-ready ability, that is a talent that a lot of these players have, and it's one that they've really been able to build over the last couple seasons.
You know what else is like a really strong skill of Aaron Wiggins? It's cutting and moving without the ball. Before the game, Jason Kidd told us, he said, this team, they're not going to stand around and watch the ball. They are going to cut, and we have to be super aware of that. Aaron Wiggins had an awesome cut in that first half. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander got trapped in the lane, and then all of a sudden, here comes Aaron Wiggins streaking through the lane, saving the day there and allowing for an outlet for SGA. That's something that we've seen from Aaron since day one in a Thunder uniform.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one thing that Aaron just has a talent for sure, Paris.
Yeah, great stuff here for the Thunder here inside of Paycom Center, walking away with a Game 1 victory over the Dallas Mavericks. All right. Right after this.
This is where we're supposed to pick up the new employee.
I didn't know how much time I had.
Are you sure this is where he lives? That's what it says. Seems like an odd place. What is that racket? Hey, what are you doing? Get in the van. Did you shower today, Rumble? When's the last time you shaved? Airco Service is proud to be the official service company of the Thunder.
Oh, sweet. Are we both in on that?
Education as a whole, it's not just subject to what's in the building and the brick and mortar building. It's everybody in the community
fighting for our students, fighting for our teachers, and fighting for our profession.
We're molding young minds into growing the next generation, and I think that's awesome.
I wanted to be a part of the school, not only as just a teacher, but as an active leader, where many voices become one.
Game. We are here inside a Paycom Center, and we are now joined by a man that we've said his name several times throughout this playoff and this post game already. We are joined right now by Aaron Wiggins, the man who finished in double figures tonight, had 12 points in the second quarter alone. Aaron, first of all, congrats on the win. Great game tonight. We were just talking about your resilience, and you never know what your role is going to be any given night. It could be a lot of minutes. It could be spot minutes. What's your mentality when you're sitting over there on the sidelines going into any given game?
I mean, I just say helping the team win. You know, we do a good job just kind of being on the same page as a team. And, I mean, for my sake, just trying to go in there and provide any sense of energy, whether that's on the defensive end or the offensive end. And, you know, I tried that tonight and obviously worked. So did a good job. Got to continue to build on it.
Aaron, I want to ask you about a play. I think it was in the fourth quarter. You went into kind of the Thunder bench and you saved the basketball. And it looked like you looked at the bench and they said something to you. Was there some sort of inside joke there about that?
Just kind of a look, man, because you know we had it going. Guys were playing fun and free, and I mean it was just funny being right in front of them, being able to make that play. They were kind of hyping me up, so just gave them a look.
You did save it though. Yeah.
Always out there putting in the work and competing. Aaron, this group dug in really strong defensively, and that's been a theme for you guys really all season long, not just in this postseason. What was the mentality and the key for you guys on that end of the floor tonight?
Just being on the same page, man. I mean, they've got great players, you know, on the offensive end and defensively, and we just did a good job on the defensive end, making sure that we, you know, understood the different looks that they would throw at us and being ready for, you know, just different rotations and different things that they may throw at us. And, I mean, guys are on the same page, and that helps. We stuck to the game plan for, you know, the full 48 minutes. And when you do that to a T, you know, you're going to come out with a win. So we did good.
Wiggs, one thing Coach Mark said in his postgame is he felt like the week of preparation is kind of what won you guys game one, that you were ready to go for that. Now you got to flip the page, and now that preparation has to turn into game two and the day off. But what was good about the week of preparation that got you guys ready for this one?
Man, I mean, just a number of things. Our scout team did a really good job just kind of, you know, molding and trying to prepare us for, you know, what we'd see from this team. And I mean, on top of it, just the extra time to kind of get recovery, make sure that our legs are feeling good, you know, watch film. There's a number of things that kind of go into preparing for each game. So I mean, we gotta continue to build on it with every off day that we kind of have going forward. But that last week was huge for us.
You guys showed up ready to play and set the tone from the outset. Aaron, thank you so much for the time, and congrats on the win tonight.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to send things back over to the press room now, where Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is addressing the media.
Play my game.
You're the man, Aaron.
And however it goes, Now, people say they've adjusted since All-Star break, since the playoffs. Honestly, haven't felt so. Like, every night I just go out there, try to attack the rim, take what the defense gives me. And if some nights I get to the free throw line, some nights I don't, it is what it is. But yeah, I try to just play my game through it.
Yes, Shai. 29 assists tonight for you guys. You mentioned trusting your teammates. Just what you like about the way that you guys move the ball, not really getting into playing one-on-one?
Yeah, like I said, against a defense like that, you have to move the ball. You have to put them in closeouts. If you don't, it gets stagnant. Their size, their length, their physicality comes into play. They're really good defenders. So we knew that going in. And it's kind of a little bit the same thing with New Orleans. Like, against really good defenses, if you don't play like that, you get stuck and you can have a long night. So yeah, we just try to get better at it as the playoffs and the series goes on.
Kind of similar teams in a way. How much of that the series against New Orleans helped you guys to prepare for the Mavericks?
Yeah, every game is an opportunity to learn and get better, and that's how we view it. Win, lose, or draw. Tonight we obviously came out on the good side of things, but there's things we can learn from and things we'll try to get better at for game two.
There's a lot of talk about your size specifically like the team size, but it seemed like almost everybody had like a chance to have like verticality at the rim with Gafford, whether it was you or Hayward or Giddey. Like it felt like you guys all had, a chance to defend that. How do you guys prepare for that specifically?
It's one of those things you either do or like you lose, especially against a team. Like they have really good offensive players, and you put 2 on them, and there's somebody open, and they're really good at finding those guys. If you don't make those plays and you don't make the extra efforts, it's going to be hard to defend that way. And they put you in a bind and make you defend that way. So it's one of those things that if we don't do, we won't end up on the good side of things, and we know that. It's something you got to put your heart on and get done.
And there was a play in the second half on the right side of the court where you kind of came up grimacing. What happened on that play, and are you feeling fine after that?
Yeah, I like just a little knee to knee. I'm fine though.
They came out third quarter, went on a little run, felt like Kyrie was getting rolling, cut it to 1. What was the key to how you guys responded after that?
We just try to focus on the next possession. And playing against a team that shoots the ball the way they do, we know that they can get hot, they can go on runs. In the game, you never really have complete control of the game, and you never are out of a game. That's the mindset we try to take. We just try to focus on the next possession, and we stacked possessions for that next 5 minutes or so, and then got back to lead.
Will you watch the MVP announcement tomorrow?
Sure, why not? If I'm at home doing nothing.
Is there a level, do you feel any anxiousness for it all? Or, how are you kind of viewing that day, being that you're a finalist?
I didn't know it was tomorrow, but it's cool. I'm excited to see who wins.
Shea, this season, or earlier today, Josh called you an unselfish superstar and just praised the way you get your teammates involved. And you've mentioned trust among your teammates and the camaraderie you guys have, like we've seen the barking and the fun stuff. But, how much of that off-court, activity and friendship between you guys has helped the on-court chemistry and trust you guys have?
Yeah, it goes hand in hand. It makes it easier for us to play for each other and with each other just because we off the court, we know each and every one of our teammates has our back and really cares for our well-being. And then in turn, just when you get out there, you're playing for something bigger than just yourself.
I've been trying to figure it out all game. My follower's been trying to figure it out all game. Are you willing to leak the designer of the fit?
This is Ferragamo.
Gotcha. Yeah. Appreciate it.
Gotcha.
Shea, I just wondered if you got nicked or how you're feeling.
Yeah, a little knee-to-knee contact, but I'm fine.
Yeah,
I'm good.
And I guess it was good to see J-Dub get going. When he got going, he really did.
Yeah. It's basketball. You're going to miss some, you're going to make some. But as long as you stay aggressive, and that's what I told him, just be aggressive, play through it. And he's too talented not to figure it out.
You said the other day at practice that, Dallas has 2 world-class scorers, but we saw that you guys have some pretty world-class scorers as well. Do you enjoy this? I know it's not you and Luka or you and Kyrie or J-Dub on either of them, but do you sort of enjoy that sort of back and forth and just sort of putting that out there on display?
Yeah, playing against, and you get a lot of opportunities in this league. You play against the best basketball players in the world, and it's always fun to play against that and see where you really match up. There's no bigger stage, there's no bigger game than when you go against the best, so those games are for sure fun.
Everybody talks about your shot making you and Jalen and other guys can do, but you played 5 games, you haven't get 100 points yet. Talk about your defense, your team defense.
Yeah, it's where we hang our hat every night, especially this late in the season. We know that if we want to win basketball games, that it's going to start on that end. And obviously we have some really talented guys on that end of the floor. But we also like to do it together and not just rely on those guys. And I think we've done a good job to this point.
Anybody else? Thank you, Chad.
Always great perspective from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That was him following tonight's victory over the Dallas Mavericks. And he brought up a lot of good points, as he always does. But the thing that always stands out to me is his composure and the maturity that he has, recognizing that, you know, you're never as far behind as you might think you are, and you're never as safe as you might think you are ahead of a team. And that composure, that poise, that trickles down to the rest of this Thunder team as well.
No question about it. And again, that's something that Shai has built that muscle as well over the last few years. But, you know, one of the things about the Dallas Mavericks is, and Coach Mark talked about this, is the kind of volatility they have within their games. They are an explosive team.
Yeah.
They have explosive talent. They can generate a ton of threes on you. The Thunder themselves have seen a game like that and was able to come back within that game too. So it's one of those things where that preparation and that understanding of your opponent, I think, is really important. But again, SGA, it's one of his unique elements, and what makes him such a great leader of this group is that he's composed on the court, but he's also composed off it. He's so consistent. We've talked about it so much. That consistency on and off the court just really, really embodies this entire group.
Yeah, and certainly an MVP candidate. We'll be watching out for that announcement.
I'll be watching
an eye
for
on
sure.
that. Definitely. We'll keep an eye on that for him. All right, we're going to take a short break here, but stick with us here on Thunder Playoff Postgame. We got Game 2.
Education as a whole, it's not just subject to what's in the building, in the brick and mortar building. It's everybody in the community.
Fighting for our students, fighting for our teachers, and fighting for our profession.
We're molding young minds into growing the next generation, and I think that's awesome.
I wanted to be a part of the school, not only as just a teacher, but as an active leader.
Where many voices become one.
This is where we're supposed to pick up the new employee. Are you sure this is where he lives? That's what it says. Huh. Seems like an odd place. Huh. What is that racket? Hey, what are you doing? Get in the van. Did you shower today, Rumble? When's the last time you shaved? Airco Service is proud to be the official service company of the Thunder.
Welcome back to Thunder Playoff Postgame. What a game it was here inside of Paycom Center. The Thunder defeating the Dallas Mavericks 117-95. For those keeping track at home, yes, the Thunder has not allowed 100 points in this postseason yet. So that Thunder defense coming out strong, something they're gonna need to carry with them, I imagine, is gonna be a big key for this group heading into Game 2. That game just 48 hours away back here inside of Paycom Center. Royce, as you start to think ahead, we've heard from Coach Daigneault, it's all about getting back to 0-0, but what are some of the keys that the Thunder is probably thinking about heading into that game?
Well, I think one of the elements the coaching staff is definitely going to communicate is you can expect the Dallas Mavericks to play better. And, you know, they did that same exact thing in their first series that they played against the Los Angeles Clippers, lost Game 1. At that time, that was on their home floor, and then they were able to bounce back and play a much better Game 2. So you can expect the Dallas Mavericks to make some adjustments. Kyrie and Luka will probably play a little bit better. Some of those shots that didn't go in, we talk about shooting variants all the time. So a lot of times in a Game 2, people are going to focus about adjustments and different things to change, but so much of it often comes down to the margins and how you still continue to win those areas. And look, the Thunder were extremely prepared and ready for this game. They're going to talk about it tomorrow at practice, I'm sure, but that scoreboard resets to 0-0. Everybody hears about it all the time. And just because of what happened in Game 1, you don't get to carry the points over into Game 2. It's got to start all the way over, and the Thunder will take that kind of mentality into that Game 2.
Yeah, always so good at getting back to baseline. Another guy who's really good at that, had a strong fourth quarter. It's Jalen Williams, who's at the podium right now. Let's listen in.
Feels like whatever situation is needed, as far as, like, you know, little plays, he always is willing to make those, and, you know, he has obviously some louder plays as well. I think the one that stands out to me is when I got the dunk, Lou diving on the floor. You know, that's something that we kind of harp on, just competing, and, you know, kind of good stuff happens from that. So the more and more you can do that, especially in the playoff series where you can, you know, each possession matters, you know, we can steal something like that, it's always a, you know, a big deal.
Just during the season, you pointed out that you maybe don't get as many calls as the next guy. That I think you said specifically that you don't even get 2 free throws a game. I wonder what you saw today specifically that helped you get to the line, and maybe what you've seen from the adjustment in officiating since the All-Star break.
I think it's just more physical. It's basketball, you know, like I try and play the same way consistently and, you know, have people adjust to how I'm playing. But, I mean, some nights you get calls, other nights you don't. I think, to answer your question more specifically, I think since All-Star break, they're just letting us play more. You can kind of tell it's a lot more physical, especially when the game gets closer. You know, they're not letting a bunch of stuff kind of, like little fouls that might happen in the first half kind of go away. But other than that, I don't think it's like I'm like trying to do anything else consciously different. I'm just kind of playing how I play. If I worked out all summer to kind of take hits, even if I don't get fouls, knowing that I don't shoot a lot. So, you know, if I get them, be ready to knock down free throws. If not, then it's kind of just like play on. I think the playoffs is big for us in regards to just not really expecting a foul, just kind of being willing to play through contact.
Early on, it felt like you were missing looks you tend to get, to looks that you maybe like. I just wonder, like, in this setting, what do those misses feel like? How do they weigh? And then, I guess, to lead a fourth quarter run like you did, like, what does that feel like on the stage?
I think on this stage it's easy to get carried away with makes and misses. I think everything's a little more magnified because every possession kind of feels super intense. So it's easy to kind of get down on yourself or, you know, kind of not shoot anymore, kind of be passive. But like you say, you know, I got looks that I work on that didn't go in. Just kind of understand this basketball and having a next play mentality. You know, I'm also matched up on Kyrie, so it's not a lot of like pouting that I could do offensively because, you know, he's coming back down on the other end. So just trying to stay aggressive. And, you know, my team trusts me to make plays, and, you know, that may not always be me scoring.
Following up on that, are you, in those moments, especially in the fourth quarter, are you feeling like you need to go make a play on the offensive end, or is it just taking what the defense gives you?
A little bit of both. I think it's like a feel thing. You know, there's going to be points in the game where, you know, I'm going to need to be a little more aggressive and try and kind of force something, but I just kind of play and take what the defense gives. You know, we have really good players on our team that can make plays. You know, you mentioned Aaron Wiggins, who just kind of pops into my mind. We have guys like that that are ready to make plays. Zay knocking down shots and playing defense. So I'm just kind of trusting them to make plays. You know, they've been doing it all season. So for me, when they do it, it's nothing new. And then, you know, there's also times where if we kind of need a bucket, you know, me and Shea are a little more aggressive.
And 16 offensive rebounds for you guys tonight. Quite a few that you guys tapped out that you didn't even get. 50-50 balls that you guys got. Just what you like about you guys' effort tonight?
Since the playoffs is so much more physical, 50-50 balls are really important. You know, we kind of pride ourselves on playing that way. Like, kind of getting those muddy possessions and just trying to make something out of them. But, yeah, I think a lot of it is just being willing to kind of sacrifice your body to make plays that way. You know, offense rebounds give you second chances, so.
Yeah, you exude joy on and off the court. Where does that come from?
You said joy?
Joy, yeah.
Make millions of dollars to dribble a basketball up and down the court. Hard not to be happy.
Dub, you mentioned guarding Kyrie, and the other guys like Luka, I think it's more like of a physical toll on you. But with Kyrie, can you just talk about the mental toll of like guarding a guy like that, where basically anything is on, nothing is off limits for him. Any shot, any move he can really make.
It puts a strain on your defense. I think the biggest thing is it's not one person guarding any of those guys. You know, you try and throw a lot of bodies at him, and, you know, he's a really good player, so he's going to make tough shots, and we know that. You just got to make them as difficult as possible. But, you know, it's a team game, so, you know, you try and do a lot of different things to force him into, you know, tough looks, and, you know, credit to him, too. He's going to make some very tough shots. He's definitely mastered the game offensively and, like, his game. So, you know, when you have those two guys paired up together, it's just more about trying to make shots as difficult as possible, and, you know, at the end of the day, if they hit shots, you got to tip your hat and be ready to go back on 0.
Into the first half, looked like you tweaked your ankle. Was that what happened there?
Yeah, I'm cool.
I know you and Shea, everybody's basically talked about how obviously great Kyrie and Luka are, but is it sort of fun to, you know, find yourself, you and Shea out there, you know, having your own runs and sort of, I know it's not you against them specifically, but just to offensively show what you guys did tonight, was there, you know, was it just kind of cool to be in that moment?
I think it's cool to play here and against those guys. I think for me, I don't want to speak for Shea, but I think it's cool to just go and guard those guys, you know, at a high stakes game. You know, you're getting their best shot every game. So for me, I just take it as an opportunity to get better and, you know, even kind of learn from that. So it's fun, but I think we do a good job not trying to turn it into a personal battle. You know, they have really good role players on their team as well that produce for them. You know, that's why they've had success, and you know, so we can't get too comfortable with, you know, kind of that two-man battle. You know, kind of understand that there's 3 other people on each team playing. So, but yeah, it's a fun thing to be out there and be able to guard them and go back at them. So it is cool.
Anyone else? Yeah, they're generally pretty low turnover, and you turn them over 9 times combined. I think Kyrie 4 times in the first half. Why'd you guys succeed in that area?
I think just trying to throw bodies at them, playing hard. You know, guys like that, you know, you can't always bank on that, but like I said, you know, you just got to make it as difficult as possible and just play hard. Probably not give them easy ones and just try and have them play in a crowd.
You guys have heard all the narratives and know what it is. Young team can't do this, not supposed to do this in the playoffs. You guys have played 5 playoff games. You're 5-0. How have you been immune from seemingly all of those things thus far?
Just stay out the media. You know, there's always, like, it's a machine. You guys got to have something to talk about. We just kind of can't. We just take the tee off the can and, you know, just kind of play. When we go out there, you know, obviously everybody talking about it's not out there, and you know, we understand that. Yeah, we just kind of keep it within the team. You know, we have fun being around each other, and we kind of relish in being in this moment together. So outside noise, just let it be outside. And, you know, like I said, at the end of the day, we got to go out there and perform regardless of what's said, and we've been doing a good job of that.
So you're staying off Twitter then?
No.
Thanks, Doug.
Yep.
Well, you do have an extra question.
Yeah, we talk so much about the resilience of this Thunder team. Well, J-Dub is a great example of that resilience. We talked about it a little bit in this show today. He didn't get out to the strongest start offensively that we've seen him have throughout this season, but then fourth quarter Dub activated, and then he just lights it up and really just slams the door shut on this game for the Thunder. Royce, what were you seeing from him in that fourth quarter there?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of what Dub was even talking about there, Paris, where, you know, you can feel the weight of each possession a lot of times, and that can sometimes become a little overwhelming, I think, for players. But Dub even talked about that he just didn't have any time to really think too much about it because he had to get back and guard Kyrie Irving, one of the most talented offensive players in this game. So, you know, that's one of the things that I think really stood out is that for Dub, he was just competing and kind of lost in the game, and that you could tell that it wasn't like he was letting himself overthink too much. And when it came to the fourth quarter, he even admitted that sometimes it's a feel thing where you're not necessarily trying to force the issue, but you are looking to be aggressive to get yourself going. I think Dub has an awareness, as so many guys do, when you are in a position like him, of your team needs you in some of those spots. There's an expectation that you're going to kind of become the engine to the offense, and he's done that so often early in fourth quarters. And so Dub picked his spots. He got open. He didn't force shots. They were shots that we see Dub make all the time, but they are what got him going. And he even pointed it out, that play in the third quarter, where Steve McGehee mentioned it too, of Lou creating that hustle play that got Dub the dunk. That was big and kind of sparking Dub as well.
We never see him force anything. We really never see anything on this, any guy on this Thunder team force anything. These guys just so in flow and in sync with each other out there on the floor, just creating the next best play offensively. And I think J-Dub had the best line of the night, if you ask me. I get paid to dribble basketball. It's really hard not to be happy about that. That explains a lot of the joy that we see from J-Dub throughout the night. All right, we got to turn the page now, get back to 0-0, because the Thunder's next game going to be here inside of Paycom Center. Game 2 taking place on Thursday night. That game tips off at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. Another late start, so grab your coffee. Make sure you're staying up late with us here inside of Paycom Center. Once again, our final score, 117-95. For Royce Young, I'm Paris Lawson. Our next postgame show comes your way Thursday, shortly after Game 2 of this best-of-7 Western Conference semifinal series between the Thunder and the Dallas Mavericks here at Paycom Center. Until then, thank you so much for tuning in. Good night from downtown OKC.